Detroit has been called one of the country's best kept secrets, and we agree. Detroit has a terrible reputation, but as I showed in my last video, Detroit is a city undergoing a resurgence. Today I'll talk about the top 10 reasons why now is a good time to move to Detroit. I'll even show you some of those homes for sale for under $5,000. In fact, home prices have doubled in the last 4 years. Now, I don't deny Detroit has its problems, and I am making a separate video about the cons of moving to Detroit, but this video is all about why Detroit would make a great place to live. So on to the reasons why you should move to Detroit, Michigan. Number 1, affordable homes. According to Zillow, a typical home in Detroit sold for $70,000 in December 2022. That's up 14% from last year. Values have doubled in just 4 years, and my guess is they will continue to rise. We tried to take a video of a house that just sold for $4,700, but there were almost a dozen people having an angry yelling match in the street, so we rolled up our windows and drove by quickly. We decided it wasn't worth stopping just for this video. The one that did sell there, though, was a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. The property had been gutted inside. Here's another home located just a block away from the fight that look almost identical to the one that was sold. These homes are just a few blocks from the Motown Museum and Henry Ford Hospital. We also found a few homes for sale, also for around $4,700 in the Fitzgerald neighborhood. As you can see, they need a lot of work. It certainly would be an adventure to renovate one of these homes like many people have done. You could really make it something unique. So you can find many homes in Detroit for under $5,000. They all need work, of course, but even for just the land, that is a pretty incredible price. The Fitzgerald neighborhood has really improved in the last few years, and I expect it will continue to do so. This playground, a basketball court, and murals were recently added where empty lots and abandoned homes once stood.
We have quite a few vacant residential properties. So instead of tearing those down, they're actually trying to get people to buy them. So we actually have a land bank, and you can go online and register, and you could buy a fixer-upper. Some are in a lot better or worse shape than others, but you can get a fixer-upper house for like $1,000 off the land bank.
We also looked at a few homes that are more move-in ready. Most schools in Detroit have very low ratings according to greatschools.org. We did, however, find a home near Renaissance High School, the top-rated public high school in Detroit. In fact, Obama was speaking there when we visited, hence the TV news crew. The home was built in 1936 and recently sold for $125,000. It has 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and is 1,500 square feet. That price is amazing for a pretty nice house. Compared to many of the homes in Canada where it would be a miracle for our kids to ever be able to afford a home, here in Detroit they could have a home paid for in a reasonable amount of time and not end up paying a mortgage for the rest of their lives. For example, compare that to this home selling for $1 million in Niagara-on-the-Lake. Now I know there is a lot of controversy about gentrification, but we are considering is buying an abandoned home or an empty lot and building something nice to live in. Unlike other cities, Detroit lost over 1 million people and has a space to welcome people back. I welcome opinions in the comments section about this. We also decided to look at some of the most luxurious homes for sale. The exclusive Palmer Woods community is one of the most expensive neighborhoods in Detroit. When driving through, we found this stunning mid-century home built in 1953. According to Zillow, the home recently sold for just over $700,000. It has 4 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, and is 4,120 square feet. The home was designed by renowned Detroit architect Louis G. Redstone. It also includes an in-ground pool and hot tub. It is hard to believe these homes are located just a few blocks from neighborhoods filled with boarded-up homes and overgrown lots. While we were there, a security vehicle drove by patrolling the neighborhood. I'm not sure how we feel about that. Number 2, affordable rent. According to Zumper, $1,100 is the average rent for a 1-bedroom apartment in Detroit. That is less than half what it would cost in most places in the U.S. We took a look at some new luxury apartments. A high-end apartment in Corktown, one of the most up-and-coming neighborhoods in the country, runs for around $1,300 a month for a small studio or around $2,000 a month for a large 2-bedroom. These are luxurious apartments with quartz countertops and panoramic views, and certainly there are other places you could rent for a lot less. Number 3, art. USA Today rated Detroit as the fourth best place to see murals, and Detroit is working to become number one. Everywhere we went, we saw murals. Boarded up buildings are becoming works of art. Detroit is also home to the Detroit Institute of Arts, one of the largest and best art galleries in North America. When we visited, they had an exhibition of 74 of Van Gogh's works. The multi-billion-dollar Van Gogh collection filled 4 galleries. Did you know that in 1913 there was an exhibition in America where none of the Van Gogh paintings sold? Can you imagine if your relative had bought one? We were so impressed with the Detroit Institute of Arts that we bought annual passes, as it will take many visits to see all of the exhibits. Another example of an art project that could probably not exist anywhere else but in Detroit is the Heidelberg Project. Artist Tyree Guyton makes art of items that were discarded. Despite parts of it being bulldozed by the city in 1991 and 1999, and fires in 2013 and 2014, he has persisted and continued to add new installations. There are plans to add an artist in residency program and a new art gallery. Number 4, sports. Sports fans will find plenty to cheer about in the Motor City. Detroit is only one of a few cities to have 4 major North American sports teams. They have the Lions football team, the Tigers baseball team, the Pistons basketball team, and the Red Wings hockey team. What's great is that all 3 major sport venues, the 42,000-seat Comerica Park, the 65,000-seat Ford Field, and the Little Caesars Arena are located right downtown next to each other. There is a lot of support for the sports teams here in Detroit. We happened to come across this huge tailgate party where people were having a great time watching a game and hanging out with friends and family. They had food on the barbecue and games on TV. If you love sports, you will really enjoy Detroit. Number 5, music. Detroit is the birthplace of Motown. Berry Gordy purchased this home back in 1959 and turned it into a recording studio known as Hitsville, USA. Stevie Wonder, Diana Ross, Marvin Gaye, The Temptations, and many more famous singers and groups recorded their hits here. But did you know Detroit is also the home of techno? Techno was born in the city back in the 80s and is still played at local clubs like the TV Lounge today. Detroit offers a truly diverse and exciting variety of music events throughout the year. Detroit also has a thriving underground music scene that offers everything from hip-hop to house music. The Detroit Opera even offers free summer concerts, including one at the Detroit Zoo. Now, one of our favorite musicians lived at this home. Sixto Rodriguez bought this home for $50 at an auction back in 1976. I won't ruin the story if you haven't already heard about him. To know more, watch the movie Searching for Sugar Man. It is one of our favorite movies, and I highly recommend you see it if you haven't already. Number 6, entertainment.
But just, take a step out, go try and check out different things. You'll be surprised what you find.
In addition to music, Detroit also has numerous places to see live theater, including top-notch entertainment venues like the Fillmore Detroit, the Opera House, and the Fox Theater. The Fox Theater was built back in 1928 and features Egyptian, Oriental, and Indian motifs. Elvis Presley performed 3 times here in 1956. Today you can see a variety of top performers including Bruce Springsteen, Blink-182, and Janet Jackson. For families, there is the Detroit Zoo and the Michigan Science Center. I also have to mention Belle Isle, an island in the Detroit River that has a beach for swimming, a picnic area, a nature center, and an aquarium. And for a great nightlife, Detroit is a city that knows how to have fun. Downtown, Greektown was hopping on a Saturday night, with many trendy restaurants and clubs, such as the Pegasus Taverna, which serves authentic Greek cuisine. If you're looking for a more laid-back atmosphere, there are plenty of bars and lounges to choose from. One popular spot is McShane's, a cozy Irish pub and whiskey bar located in Corktown. No matter what kind of nightlife experience you're looking for, you'll find it in Detroit. Also, did you know Detroit is known for their square pizza? It can be found at popular places such as Buddy's Pizza. Number 7, festivals. From music and art festivals to food and drink festivals, Detroit has a festival for everyone to enjoy. One of the biggest and most popular festivals in Detroit is the Movement Electronic Music Festival. This festival features a lineup of electronic music acts from around the world, as well as interactive art installations. Another festival that's not to be missed is the Detroit Jazz Festival, which is the largest free jazz festival in the world. Then there's Downtown Hoedown, one of the world's biggest free country music festivals. If you're a beer fan, you won't want to miss the Detroit Fall Beer Festival, which takes place in October. This festival features more than 800 different craft beers from around the country, as well as food trucks and live music. A few others include the Renaissance Festival and the Art in Apples Festival. And if you like classic cars, you can't miss the Woodward Dream Cruise, the world's largest celebration of classic cars that attracts over 1.5 million visitors every year. Over 40,000 classic cars from all over the world cruise through Detroit in August, giving onlookers the chance to check out convertibles, hardtops, hot rods, and muscle cars. And what's great about this giant classic car party is that many Detroit nonprofits hold fundraisers during the event, making money to help those who need meals or have addictions. Number 8. Lower risk for natural disasters. CBS News included a Detroit suburb in its top 10 list of cities safest from a natural disaster. Compared to other states, Michigan is at a very low risk for earthquakes, tornadoes, or hurricanes. However, there were some years where unprecedented amounts of rain overwhelmed Detroit's aging public infrastructure and caused some flooding, but apparently updates are planned. Before I show you the final 2 reasons that now is the time to move to Detroit, please do me a favor and hit subscribe. It will really help us to bring you videos about more cities. Number 9. Resurgence. Construction was happening everywhere we looked. In 5 years, Detroit will look very different than it does right now. There were just too many examples of all the revitalization projects happening in Detroit that this video was getting way too long. So we made a separate video about 10 of the reasons why Detroit is heading in the right direction. Click the link above or in the description to watch that video. Here is a quick overview of some of the projects that are changing the landscape of Detroit. There's the Fisher Building, the Guardian Building, the Corner, Elton Park, the Riverfront, Michigan Central Station, the Fitzgerald Neighborhood Revitalization, the Q Line, and urban farming. 10. A great place to volunteer. With so many revitalization projects and other grassroots efforts to improve Detroit, there are so many opportunities to volunteer somewhere that you can really make a difference. If you come with the right attitude and a great deal of perseverance, you can make a lasting legacy in the city.
It's fun. There's a lot of culture here. There's a lot of history here. And not just, I would say, Motown or the train station. It's the people. You know, the people are what make this place so rich and so powerful.
So Detroit really was far better and enjoyable than we ever expected. We'll never run out of things to do. Now may be the best time to make the move there, as I really can't see house prices going any lower. But, like every city, Detroit does have its problems. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss my next video about the top 10 reasons not to move to Detroit. In the meantime, be sure to check out more cool cities here.